Welcome to My Lady Stories, the home of captivating stories and entertainment. Get ready for a journey into the world of thrilling tales. Join me as we explore fascinating stories and adventures. Hit that subscribe button and let's dive in. I want you to pay attention to this story. At the end of this season, I'll be asking some questions and I'll like to hear from you. Enjoy the story.
The underwater world of Lumaria glistened with bioluminescent beauty as Alara, a young and curious mermaid, swam through a colorful coral forest. Her cerulean tail glided gracefully, leaving a trail of shimmering bubbles. With her vibrant red hair and eyes filled with wonder, she was unlike any other in her faction. As Alara explored the intricate nooks of the coral labyrinth, she stumbled upon an ancient chamber hidden beneath the waves. Inside, a dim, ethereal glow beckoned her closer. Her heart raced as she discovered a mysterious coral-encrusted chest. It seemed to pulse with a secret energy. Carefully, Alara opened the chest and found an ornate, glowing seashell necklace, an emblem of royalty. It was engraved with the insignia of Lumaria's long-lost royal family. She clutched it to her chest, her pulse quickening with intrigue. That evening, Alara returned to her faction's vibrant coral palace. She knew she needed to keep her discovery a secret, at least until she could uncover its significance. Her parents, King Tritonius and Queen Thalassa, ruled wisely, but they had always kept Alara's true lineage a mystery. Over dinner, Alara's mind raced with questions, but she kept her secret close. She watched her father's regal gestures and her mother's deep wisdom, wondering if they held the key to her ancestry. The tension at the dinner table was palpable, as if her discovery had set something in motion. After dinner, Alara retired to her private chamber. She examined the necklace under the soft glow of a bioluminescent coral lamp, which revealed hidden inscriptions on its surface. The markings hinted at a powerful prophecy, one that could change the fate of Lumaria forever. As the night deepened, Alara's thoughts swirled with possibilities. She knew she needed answers, but she also understood that revealing her secret could ignite a dangerous power struggle among the mermaid factions. And so, beneath the waves of Lumaria, the stage was set for a captivating tale of hidden lineages, forbidden love, and a young mermaid's quest for the truth. Little did Alara know that her discovery would spark a rivalry filled with both love and hatred, plunging her into a world of intrigue, emotions, and war beneath the coral throne. As dawn's first light filtered through the water, Alara couldn't shake the feeling that her discovery had set something into motion. She clutched the glowing seashell necklace, her heart heavy with the weight of its secrets. Her sleep had been troubled by dreams of a turbulent sea and voices whispering cryptic warnings. With the necklace concealed beneath her flowing seaweed gown, Alara swam to the heart of her faction's coral palace. There, in the grand chamber adorned with luminescent pearls, her parents, King Tritonius and Queen Thalassa, awaited her. They exchanged knowing glances but said nothing of her discovery. Alara, her father began, his voice echoing with authority, "We have received troubling reports. Rival factions grow bolder, and their charismatic leaders seek to undermine our rule." Alara's mother added, "These tensions threaten to plunge Lumaria into a devastating conflict. We must tread carefully." Alara nodded, her mind racing with the implications of her necklace's discovery. She decided to confide in her parents, revealing the ancient relic. The room fell silent as they examined it, their expressions a mix of astonishment and concern. Queen Thalassa spoke softly, "This necklace is a symbol of the royal lineage, Alara. You must keep it hidden from prying eyes." King Tritonius continued, "But it also carries a responsibility. You may be the key to restoring the rightful rulers of Lumaria." Alara's heart swelled with a sense of purpose. She knew she needed answers, and her parents' words only fueled her determination. Meanwhile, in the dark depths of Lumaria, a rival faction led by the charismatic siren, Audrey, plotted their next move. Audrey, with her hypnotic voice and silver-scaled beauty, had gathered a following of devoted mermaids and mermen. Her allure was undeniable, and her faction believed they were destined to rule Lumaria. Audrey convened her council in a hidden cavern, their eyes gleaming with ambition. "Our time has come," she declared, her voice like a siren's song. "We shall challenge the Coral Throne's rule and seize power for ourselves." Word of Audrey's bold declaration reached Alara's ears through an underwater grapevine. The growing rivalry between factions was reaching a boiling point, and Lumaria was on the brink of war. Alara knew she had to act swiftly. She sought counsel from a wise elder, an ancient sea turtle named Corol, who resided in a tranquil coral grove. Corol listened intently to Alara's story and the revelation of the necklace. "Child," Corol rumbled, "the fate of Lumaria rests on your shoulders. Seek the wisdom of the ocean's depths and the guidance of those who have come before you." With newfound determination, Alara embarked on a journey into the abyss, where ancient sea spirits dwelled. She hoped to uncover the secrets hidden within her necklace and find a way to prevent the impending conflict that threatened her underwater world. As tensions continued to rise between Alara's faction and Audrey's, readers would find themselves drawn deeper into the intrigue, eager to see how Alara's quest for answers would intersect with the charismatic siren's thirst for power in the captivating world of Lumaria. The abyssal depths of the ocean concealed ancient secrets and spirits that had witnessed the rise and fall of countless generations. Alara, determined to unravel the mysteries of her lineage and the significance of the glowing seashell necklace, journeyed deeper into the inky darkness. As Alara swam through the eerie, bioluminescent abyss, she encountered a shadowy figure, a spectral sea spirit named Delphinia. The spirit whispered cryptic prophecies about the necklace, urging Alara to seek answers among the forgotten relics of Lumaria's history. Guided by Delphinia's enigmatic words, Alara discovered an underwater cave filled with ancient scrolls and coral engravings. These relics spoke of a love story that had been buried in the depths of time, a love between two merfolk from rival factions, one from her own and one from Audrey's, known as the charismatic leader of a rival faction. As Alara read about the forbidden love story, she was moved by the tragic tale of two star-crossed lovers who had defied the faction's enmity. Their love had been a beacon of hope and unity, and their names were etched in history, Isolde from her own faction and Tristan from Audrey's. The more she read, the deeper Alara's heart sank, and she realized the dangerous path she was treading. She had secretly fallen in love with a merman from Audrey's faction named Thalassin. Their connection was undeniable, and their love had grown in the shadows of Lumaria's brewing conflict. Alara couldn't help but feel the weight of history and the consequences of their forbidden romance. The love between Isolde and Tristan had ended in tragedy, and Alara feared that the same fate might befall her and Thalassin. The clandestine nature of their relationship became increasingly perilous as the rivalry between factions intensified. Alara longed for the day when love could bridge the divide in Lumaria, but that hope seemed to slip away with each passing day. One moonlit night, Thalassin and Alara met in a secret grotto hidden far from prying eyes. The bioluminescent flora cast a soft, otherworldly glow over them as they held each other in a loving embrace. Their whispered confessions of love were intertwined with fear and despair. Thalassin spoke softly, "Alara, we must be cautious. Our love is a flame in a sea of darkness, but we cannot let it be extinguished." Tears welled in Alara's eyes as she replied, "I fear the consequences, but I cannot deny my heart. Our love is a testament to the hope that one day Lumaria can be united." Their love was a dangerous spark in a world filled with rising tensions and bitter rivalries. The more their hearts entwined, the more perilous their love became, setting the stage for a story filled with passion, secrets, and the relentless pursuit of a love that defied the odds. The clandestine love between Alara and Thalassin continued to blossom, hidden from prying eyes and submerged in a sea of danger. They met in secret, finding solace in each other's arms amidst the turmoil of Lumaria. As their love deepened, so did the shadows of betrayal, shrouding the underwater world. Alara's heart ached with the knowledge that their forbidden romance could place her family and her faction in danger. One fateful evening, as Alara swam toward their secret grotto, she overheard hushed voices and muffled laughter. Concealed behind a coral outcrop, she watched in shock as a group of merfolk from her own faction whispered secrets to a cloaked figure from a rival faction, believed to be under Audrey's influence. The chilling realization hit her: there was a plot to betray her faction. Her family, the Coral Throne, and all she held dear were in peril. Determined to uncover the truth, Alara swam closer, using the bioluminescent flora to shield her presence. As she listened in, the treacherous plot began to unravel. The conspirators planned to sabotage the Coral Palace's magical defenses, leaving it vulnerable to an impending attack by Audrey's faction. If successful, the betrayal could cripple Alara's faction and provide Audrey with the opportunity to seize power. Alara's heart raced with fear and anger. She had to act swiftly to protect her family and her people. Retreating from her hiding place, she swam to the heart of her faction's palace to warn her parents, King Tritonius and Queen Thalassa. In their grand chamber, adorned with luminescent pearls and coral, she delivered the grave news. Her parents exchanged worried glances, realizing the treacherous depths to which Audrey's faction was willing to sink. King Tritonius spoke with urgency: "Alara, you must help us uncover the full extent of this betrayal. We cannot allow our people to be vulnerable. We must also seek allies among other factions to ensure Lumaria's safety." Alara nodded, her determination unwavering. She knew she had to find the conspirators' identities and their ultimate goal. As she ventured deeper into the dark waters, she encountered Thalassan, her love, and she knew she must confide in him. Thalassan listened in disbelief as Alara revealed the shocking plot against her faction. His loyalty to her was unwavering, and he promised to help her uncover the conspirators' identities. Together, they would face the dangerous web of betrayal and deceit. With the revelation of the treacherous plot against Alara's faction still fresh in their minds, the underwater world of Lumaria was filled with an air of tension and uncertainty. The impending Coral Ball, a grand and extravagant event hosted by Alara's family, was both a momentous celebration and an opportunity to unite the mermaid factions. As the date of the Coral Ball drew near, the anticipation in Lumaria was palpable. The palace's coral walls glistened with added splendor, adorned with bioluminescent pearls and rare sea crystals. Elaborate floral arrangements, composed of delicate anemones and radiant sea lilies, graced the grand chamber where the ball would take place. Alara, dressed in a gown of shimmering seafoam and pearls, couldn't help but feel a weight upon her shoulders. She was aware that the celebration was not just a grand social event, it was an opportunity to garner support and allies in the face of Audrey's looming threat. As the guests began to arrive, from Lumaria's elite to representatives of various mermaid factions, the ballroom filled with music and laughter. The vibrant colors of mermaids' tails and the enchanting melodies of underwater instruments created a surreal and mesmerizing atmosphere. Tensions ran high, however, beneath the facades of revelry. Whispers of the treacherous plot had spread, causing doubts and suspicions among Lumaria's allies. Loyalties were tested, and the fear of betrayal was palpable. Alara navigated through the crowd with grace, trying to maintain the illusion of unity and happiness. She danced with distinguished guests, exchanged pleasantries, and smiled with sincerity. But her eyes never ceased scanning the room, searching for any sign of the conspirators who aimed to weaken her faction's defenses. The momentous event reached its peak as a magnificent performance took place. Lumaria's most talented singers and dancers enchanted the audience, and the ballroom was filled with an ethereal symphony. But amidst the music and splendor, a shocking revelation would soon unfold. Alara's sharp eyes caught a glimpse of a familiar face, Thalassan, her beloved, engaged in a hushed conversation with a mysterious mermaid. The realization struck her like a lightning bolt. Thalassan, the one person she had confided in about the treacherous plot, appeared to be involved in the conspiracy. A cold dread settled over Alara as she watched Thalassan and the cloaked figure exchange a secret message. She had to know the truth, but confronting him in the midst of the ball was impossible. The grandeur of the Coral Ball became a stage for escalating tensions, secrets, and shocking revelations. Alara was left with a heart divided, her love for Thalassan in conflict with her duty to her faction. The revelation of Thalassan's apparent involvement in the treacherous plot at the Coral Ball left Alara in a state of turmoil. As the grand event continued, she struggled to maintain her composure, concealing the anguish of her heartbreak and betrayal. Unable to confront Thalassin amidst the grandeur of the ball, Alara made a difficult decision. She would discreetly investigate the truth of his involvement in the conspiracy, while also seeking to strengthen her faction's defenses. In the days that followed the Coral Ball, Alara ventured beyond Lumaria's boundaries, determined to seek alliances with other mermaid factions. She knew that, to protect her family and the Coral Throne, unity among the underwater world's factions was crucial. Her first stop was the enigmatic Coral Forest faction, known for their magical abilities to manipulate coral and control its growth. Their leader, the wise and ancient Corallus, greeted Alara with a keen look in her eyes. Alara of the Coral Throne, Corallus began, we have heard whispers of a growing threat. Our faction is bound to protect the coral, and your family's rule has ensured its safety for generations. But the time for unity has come. Alara explained the treacherous plot against her faction and the growing tensions within Lumaria. She pleaded for Corallus's support, emphasizing the importance of safeguarding the precious coral forests. Corallus agreed to form an alliance with Alara's faction, recognizing the grave peril that threatened their shared homeland. The Coral Forest faction promised to bolster Lumaria's defenses with their formidable coral magic. Alara's next destination was the reclusive Deep Trench faction, known for their mastery of the abyssal depths. Their leader, the mysterious Abyssius, was a merman of few words, but his eyes held an unwavering determination. Alara, Abyssius said in his deep, resonant voice, the secrets of the abyss are not given lightly. But in the face of an impending threat, we shall share our knowledge with you. Alara learned of their unique abilities to navigate the inky darkness of the ocean's depths and to harness the power of mysterious sea creatures. In exchange for Lumaria's protection of the abyssal realm, the Deep Trench faction offered their support and ancient knowledge. As she ventured to other mermaid factions, Alara gained their trust and formed strategic alliances to bolster her faction's strength. Each faction offered unique resources and abilities, from the enchanting songshapers, who could use their voices to influence the tides, to the skilled coral guardians, defenders of Lumaria's borders. The unity among the factions, once fractured by rivalry, was becoming a beacon of hope for Lumaria. But while Alara was securing allies, her heart remained heavy with the unresolved matter of Thalassin and his betrayal. The alliances Alara had carefully forged among the mermaid factions were not formed a moment too soon. Lumaria's impending conflict reached a breaking point, as the whispers of betrayal and rising tensions between factions exploded into open warfare. Audrey, charismatic and cunning, had seized the opportunity to launch a bold assault on Alara's faction, determined to take control of the Coral Throne. Her faction had been bolstered by its own allies, drawn into a conflict that threatened to consume the underwater world. The two rival factions met in the heart of Lumaria, a battleground of coral reefs and bioluminescent wonders. The tension in the water was palpable, and the echo of rival factions' war cries filled the ocean. Alara, now wearing the glowing seashell necklace openly, led her faction with grace and determination. The alliances she had formed provided invaluable support, their magical abilities and unique strengths adding to the strength of Lumaria's defenses. The battle was fierce and unforgiving, filled with magic, swirling currents, and merfolk of both factions clashing in combat. Audrey, with her mesmerizing singing voice, sought to enchant Alara's warriors, but the songshapers of the Coral Forest faction countered her influence, maintaining their focus on the battle. The water was aglow with spells and the shimmer of mermaid tails, the battlefield a dance of war and magic. Alara fought with a fiery determination, defending her family and her faction, all while her heart ached with the knowledge of Thalassin's betrayal. Thalassin, his merman form fierce and determined, fought alongside Audrey's faction, seemingly torn between his loyalty to Alara and his alliance with the charismatic siren. Their paths crossed amidst the chaos of battle, and their gazes locked in a moment of pain and longing. Audrey, seeing the inner conflict within Thalassin, unleashed a wave of dark magic, aiming to tip the balance in her favor. Alara, guided by the knowledge and unity of her allies, summoned the power of the glowing seashell necklace, pushing back Audrey's dark forces with a burst of radiant energy. The epic battle raged on, with casualties on both sides, but it was Alara's unity with the allied factions that ultimately turned the tide. The magic and determination of Lumaria's combined forces overpowered Audrey's faction, and the charismatic Siren was forced to retreat. As the battle subsided, Lumaria's coral reefs bore the scars of the conflict, a testament to the fierce struggle that had taken place. The alliances formed by Alara's unwavering determination had proven to be the key to victory. Amidst the wreckage of the battlefield, Alara's gaze sought Thalassin, her love, who had been torn between loyalty and betrayal. His expression held a mixture of remorse and hope, as he swam to her side. In the aftermath of the Battle of the Tides, Lumaria was scarred, but it stood united and victorious. The combined forces of Alara's faction and their newfound allies had prevailed, pushing Audrey's faction into retreat. As the coral reefs settled and the waters stilled, the underwater world of Lumaria began to count its losses. The emotional toll of the battle weighed heavily on the merfolk who had fought valiantly. Alara, standing on the coral battlefield, felt the weight of her leadership. Her allies had fought with unwavering determination, but sacrifices had been made. Brave merfolk who had pledged their loyalty to Lumaria would never return to their families. The Coral Forest faction, known for their magical ability to control coral growth, had suffered losses among their most skilled coral manipulators. These merfolk had given their lives to protect Lumaria's precious coral. The Deep Trench faction, who held the secrets of the abyssal depths, mourned the loss of their most adept abyssal navigators. These merfolk had ventured into the darkest depths to defend their homeland. The Songshapers, known for their enchanting voices and ability to influence the tides, had seen some of their most talented singers injured in the battle. The wounds were not only physical but also emotional, as they had been forced to use their voices to counter Audrey's seductive singing. The emotional toll was palpable as Alara moved through the coral battleground, consoling those who had lost loved ones and paying her respects to the fallen. She, too, felt the deep anguish of sacrifice, the burden of leadership that weighed on her young shoulders. Thalassin, who had been torn between loyalty to Alara and his alliance with Audrey, approached her with remorse in his eyes. He had witnessed the sacrifices made on both sides and understood the emotional toll of war. Alara, he began, I know that I have caused you pain, and I can never truly make amends. But I hope that one day, Lumaria can find a way to heal. Alara looked at him, her heart aching with a mix of love, anger, and sorrow. She saw the weight of Thalassin's own sacrifices and knew that forgiveness would not come easily, but the possibility of a future where their love could bridge the divide remained. As the coral reefs began to recover and the scars of war started to heal, the emotional toll of the Battle of the Tides lingered in the hearts of Lumaria's merfolk. They had paid a price for their unity and victory, and the underwater world would never be the same. In the wake of the Battle of the Tides and the emotional toll it had taken on Lumaria, a fragile sense of peace descended upon the underwater world. The coral reefs were slowly healing, and the merfolk were beginning to rebuild their lives. But tension still simmered beneath the surface, and the wounds of betrayal were far from healed. Alara, having learned of Thalassin's involvement in the treacherous plot against her faction, had chosen to distance herself from him. Their love was marred by mistrust, and the emotional chasm between them remained. One fateful day, a message arrived from Serafina, who had captured Alara's younger brother, Nerus. The note, written in elaborate, swirling script, detailed Serafina's terms for Nereus's release, setting the stage for a tense negotiation. Alara's heart raced as she read the message, her brother's life hanging in the balance. She knew she had to act swiftly to save him. She reached out to her allies and gathered a small council to devise a plan for the negotiation. The council included Corallus of the Coral Forest faction, Abyssius of the Deep Trench faction, and representatives from the Songshapers and the Coral Guardians. Alara's parents, King Tritonius and Queen Thalassa, provided their counsel and support, determined to protect their family and their faction. The council discussed the terms set by Serafina and the best approach for the negotiation. Serafina demanded the release of several prisoners held by Lumaria, as well as access to Lumaria's magical coral reserves. Alara knew that she had to tread carefully. While she was willing to make certain concessions to save her brother, she couldn't jeopardize the safety and security of her faction. As the negotiations commenced, Serafina appeared in a hidden grotto, accompanied by her most trusted advisors. The tension in the air was palpable as Alara and her council, along with Nerus, arrived to meet her. Serafina, her silver-scaled beauty enhanced by the bioluminescent flora, offered a sly smile as she presented her terms. The negotiation was filled with veiled threats, subtle power plays, and a deep undercurrent of rivalry. The delicate balance between the two factions hung in the balance as they sought to find common ground. Alara knew that the fate of her brother, her faction, and Lumaria itself rested on the outcome of these tense negotiations. As the negotiations with Serafina unfolded, the underwater world of Lumaria teetered on the edge of uncertainty. The tension between the factions and the emotional strain on Alara's family were at their peak. Nereus's life hung in the balance, dependent on the outcome of the negotiations. In the midst of this turmoil, Alara sought guidance from her mother, Queen Thalassa. She hoped that her mother would have some insight into the negotiations, a way to secure her brother's release and end the conflict. Thalassa led Alara to a secluded chamber in the Coral Palace, far from prying eyes and listening ears. There, surrounded by the soft glow of bioluminescent coral, Thalassa began to speak. Alara, there is something I must tell you, Thalassa began, her voice soft and filled with a mix of love and regret. It is a secret that has been passed down through generations, a truth about your lineage that may further complicate the conflict with Serafina. Alara listened intently, her heart heavy with anticipation. She had always known that her mother held hidden knowledge about their family, and now was the time to reveal it. Thalassa continued, you are not just a descendant of the Coral Throne. You also carry the bloodline of a powerful merfolk from a rival faction. Alara's eyes widened with shock. The revelation was like a tidal wave crashing over her. She struggled to comprehend the implications of her mother's words. Thalassa went on to explain the complex history of their family, a lineage intertwined with that of the charismatic siren, Audrey's faction. Long ago, a forbidden love had blossomed between a member of Audrey's faction and a royal of the Coral Throne. This clandestine romance had given rise to a hidden lineage, one that had remained a closely guarded secret. Alara realized the profound implications of her lineage. She was not just the heir to the Coral Throne, she was also a part of the rival faction, a fact that could further complicate the conflict and negotiations with Serafina. Queen Thalassa revealed that her mother's duty had been to keep the lineage hidden, to protect the unity of Lumaria and prevent a potential civil war. The love between the rival factions had always been a fragile thread, and the truth of Alara's lineage had the power to either unite the factions or deepen the divide. Alara felt a mixture of emotions. She understood the weight of the secret her mother had borne and the consequences it could have on Lumaria. The truth was both a blessing and a burden, offering a potential path to unity but also a perilous journey through the complexities of rivalry, love, and loyalty. As the revelation settled, Thalassa and Alara knew that the negotiations with Serafina had taken on a new level of complexity. The fate of Lumaria now depended not only on the release of Nerus but also on the way the factions would react to the truth of Alara's lineage.
Beneath the Coral Throne has taken you on a captivating journey into the underwater world of Lumaria, where a power struggle between mermaid factions has unfolded. The story has followed Alara, the young mermaid who discovered her hidden lineage and embarked in a quest to uncover the truth about her past. Along the way, you have witnessed a passionate but forbidden romance, a thrilling battle, and the revelation of a hidden lineage that may further complicate the conflict. As the story has progressed, secrets have been unveiled, alliances have been formed, and sacrifices have been made. Alara's relationship with Thalassin has been strained due to his involvement in the treacherous plot. Do you believe their love can withstand the challenges and secrets that have surfaced? How might their relationship evolve from this point? Also, the revelation of Alara's hidden lineage has added a new layer of complexity to the story. How do you think this revelation will impact the ongoing conflict between the factions? Will it bring unity or further division? Furthermore, Audrey, the charismatic leader of a rival faction, remains a formidable force. What role do you anticipate she will play in the upcoming season? Will she continue to be a source of conflict, or could her character take an unexpected turn? I'll be in the comments section. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe for more exciting content. Also turn on the notification button so you get notified when the part 2 is out.